Fred Vasseur is in extremely hot water. And at last, after Ferrari have attempted desperately to keep it under wraps for weeks, the truth has at last burst forth into the open. Behind closed doors and away from prying eyes, the Scuderia have been operating in secret mode, quietly setting things up for what has the potential to be one of the most earth-shattering shakeups of recent Formula One times. Outwardly, Vasseur projects calm, focus, and unwavering commitment to rebuilding Ferrari, but behind that mask lies a far more explosive reality. Recent reports reveal a shocking truth. Ferrari made a bold and ultimately rejected approach to Christian Horner, trying to pry him away from Red Bull. But that's not the full story. The team is also targeting Antonello Coletta, the mastermind behind Ferrari's unmatched dominance in the World Endurance Championship. So, what does it all mean? In short, Ferrari management no longer considers Vasseur to be untouchable. The disastrous start to the 2025 season, no wins in the first 10 races, driver tensions boiling over, and a car that simply refuses to go well, has destroyed faith in Vasseur's leadership. The same project he was brought in to lead is crumbling, and with rivals like McLaren and Mercedes bridging the gap, the tension on Vasseur is now hitting boiling point. No question, this is no rumor. This is a bombshell with the power to rewrite Ferrari's future in Formula One. So, hit like, subscribe, and stay with me until the end, because what you're about to discover could explain not only Ferrari's internal meltdown, but why Vasseur's job might be on the line. Now, let's examine a little more closely what this moment actually means for Ferrari, not so much for Fred Vasseur, but for the entirety of the Scuderia top to bottom. This is not about certain technical failings, questionable strategy calls, or disappointing race weekends. No. It's an identity crisis, a threat to the very soul of motorsport's finest team. Charles Leclerc, once Ferrari's golden boy and future world champion, now seems like a ghost from Maranello's troubled past. His voice, once so full of hope and determination, now drips with a frustration far deeper than disappointment. At the Montreal GP, his radio outburst, fuming after being called in for a pit stop despite insisting his tires were fine, wasn't just one misstep. It was a clear sign of something far more profound breaking down: confidence. Confidence in a group of strategists that has lost its rhythm. Confidence in a garage no longer functioning as a garage. Confidence in a shared vision that they once had, but now appears to be no more than wishful thinking. When a driver as good as Leclerc loses confidence, the effects can be paralyzing, and it doesn't stop there. At the other end of the garage, the drama is no less. Lewis Hamilton, 7 world titles in hand, joined Ferrari with hopes of cementing his legacy and being a part of a revival. But only 10 races in, he's gone from willing architect to unwilling whistleblower. His public comments, while oblique, have opened a window onto a toxic mix of outdated methods, communications failures, and what he quite frankly called a desperate need for a mindset change. When Hamilton says, "There's a lot going on in the background," this is no offhand remark. It's a flare, a blazing red warning signal that deep structural problems are simmering at Ferrari. Political stagnation, unclear decision-making, and a suffocating hold of old-school thinking disguised as tradition. In doing so, Hamilton has put Ferrari's top management squarely in the spotlight. The dysfunction he's hinting at? It doesn't begin on race day. It starts in the boardroom. And at the root of all this chaos lies Ferrari's attempt to reinvent itself under Fred Vasseur. In 2024, it was all looking so good. 5 wins, a good fight for Constructors' Championship glory, and momentum. Vasseur had gained some momentum with the bitter departure of Binotto, and the team was looking on the move. But then along came 2025, the new car concept, the complete redesign of the design. Most in the paddock labeled it a gamble too far, and now that gamble appears to have spectacularly backfired. Ferrari has traded the rock-solid foundation on which it built 2024 for a swooning SF25 that's explosively unstable, full of aerodynamic turmoil, brake overheating, and diabolically dire tire management. It's a car nobody, not even Hamilton, can tame. And the reward? A team not only underperforming, but on the brink of a complete and utter meltdown. But this is not the whole story. The inner strife has been more ominous in recent weeks. Sources close to the team indicate Vasseur is now facing increasing pressure from on high at Ferrari. And with each and every race, it's building. But here's the twist. It's not just the lack of results that is fueling this pressure. It's being fueled from the outside as well. It's claimed Ferrari privately approached Christian Horner this year. That's right. The Christian Horner, the longest-serving, most successful team principal of the current grid, the one who made Red Bull a dynasty. Ferrari coveted him as Vasseur's successor, but he turned them down. In an exclusive interview, he made it clear, "My heart and soul are at Red Bull." He dismissed the speculation with grace, but make no mistake, his rejection was a blow. Ferrari failed to secure the one man they thought could reset the culture, bring modern thinking, and guide the team with ruthless efficiency. And so the search moved closer to home. Enter Antonello Cleta. Lederer may not have the global name recognition of her, but within Ferrari, his record speaks volumes under his leadership. Ferrari's World Endurance Championship program has flourished back-to-back victories at Le Mans, unbeaten so far in the 2025 season, a team built on structure stability and relentless attention to detail. Cleta represents everything the F1 team currently lacks, and now, according to multiple Italian reports, he's the front-runner to take over should Vasseur be dismissed. The plan being considered, sources say, isn't just a straight replacement. Ferrari is exploring a dual leadership structure, Cleta taking over sporting and technical oversight, with Lorenzo Gioetti managing the commercial and strategic side. Much like the Zach Brown-Andrea Stella model at McLaren, it's a bold idea, but in the current climate, bold might be the only way out. The bigger question is what happens to Vasseur if results don't improve. Recent emotional defense in the Canadian GP press conference revealed a man feeling the strain he called media speculation. Disrespectful accused journalists of undermining morale and pleaded for calm. But his words, however sincere, may have come too late. Because Ferrari isn't just fighting for wins, they're fighting to hold together the very fabric of a team that seems dangerously close to unraveling behind the scenes. Engineers are burned out. Trackside strategists are second-guessing every move. Drivers are airing grievances publicly. And the fans, they're losing patience. So are the sponsors. So are the shareholders. Even the failed pursuit of Adrian Newey adds to the snowball. Once again, Ferrari tried to lure a legendary figure to reshape their fortunes. Once again, they came up short. Newey chose Aston Martin instead, a team with less history. Fewer titles, but perhaps more freedom to build without bureaucratic interference in this environment. How can Blair and Hamilton feel secure? Blair may have signed a long-term deal, but with performance clauses embedded in his contract, he won't hesitate to explore an exit if Ferrari continues to flounder. And Hamilton, he doesn't have 5 more years to waste. He came for a project with ambition. Instead, he's stuck in a political minefield, watching podiums slip away due to inexplicable strategic errors. This isn't just about Vasseur anymore. It's about Ferrari's soul, about whether the team can admit its mistakes and evolve, or whether it's destined to repeat the same cycles of chaos under different leadership names. Next few races won't just decide Fred Vasseur's future, they could determine whether Ferrari remains relevant in the hybrid era of Formula One or slips further into irrelevance while the rest of the grid writes the future. So stay exactly where you are, because this isn't just another chapter in Ferrari's long history of internal struggles. It could be the final warning shot before everything comes crashing down. Fred Vasseur is not just battling a car that refuses to perform, or a driver lineup that's growing increasingly vocal. He's battling the weight of Ferrari's legacy, the pressure of an entire nation, and the quiet storm building within Maranello's own corridors of power. What's unfolding now is bigger than a team principle under scrutiny. It's about trust eroding from the top down, and about 2 of the most high-profile drivers on the grid beginning to question whether the promises they were sold were ever truly realistic. And that's the real danger because once belief starts to fracture inside Ferrari, it doesn't just lead to mistakes on track, it leads to exits, to instability, to chaos. Antilocleta's rising profile, the media pressure, the boardroom uncertainty, the angry team radios, the failed strategy calls, the desperate search for leadership. All of it is converging into something that feels less like a crisis and more like a reckoning. If Ferrari continues down this path, they don't just risk another lost season, they risk losing the very people who could have led them back to glory. But if change does come, if the team finally faces its flaws, head on, this moment might also be remembered as the turning point. So don't blink, don't scroll, don't miss a second of what comes next. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because this story, it's only just beginning and the next chapter might rewrite the future of Ferrari forever.